Hey there. Well, I guess I'll be making 2 videos today. This will likely be the shorter of the 2. Anyway, in my last video, there were a number of people who tried to say that the left tries to shame and silence people as well. This is true. I've talked about it many times. But they shame and try to silence people for completely different reasons than the right does. They end up often calling people something that ends in "ist" or phobic. The left tries to silence people who they believe are cruel, apathetic, or bigoted. Sure, they're often very, very wrong in their assumptions, and they end up putting people in boxes as a result. But to me, they usually have their hearts in the right place. Again, they're often very misguided, but they don't do it just for the sake of hurting people. They're trying to stop people from being cruel, apathetic, and bigoted. They do it to try to stop genuine hate and apathy, and they usually don't know of any other ways of doing such. How does one actually stop genuine hate and apathy? It usually can't be stopped. The right wing generally does not have their hearts in the right place when they try to shame and silence people. The right wing shames and silences people for criticizing right-wing politicians and their policies, for especially criticizing the president, which they label the criticism as un-American and America-hating, often with things like, "How dare you criticize our president?" Especially any criticism of Trump, or criticism of Bush right after 9/11, as if Republican presidents are like the Pope or other important religious figures. They shame people for criticizing cruel and apathetic laws and punishments, as if every law or punishment is righteous and just, which I'll talk about a bit more in the next video, for criticizing hurtful and negative patterns of this country as a whole. There's lots of, "Ha ha, our side won, Trump is making America great again," no matter how cruel the policies actually are. Their shaming never comes from a place of empathy. In all these years, I've never seen it come from a place of empathy. So you'll have to pardon me if I think that the shaming that comes from the right is far worse than the shaming that comes from the left. And yes, the left is often a fan of silencing people via censorship, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think it's a good way to move forward. But shaming people for speaking against cruel and apathetic laws and punishment is messed up in my opinion. Just saying.